So it is. And, my dear ones, as I woke this morning, I was wondering, what is it that Spirit would like us to focus on? Because that's what I always do. I just don't want it to be me presenting something from me. I always want it to be more than that. And I do make that endeavor. It's one thing I don't neglect. It's preparation before anything needs to be presented through me, so that I know the ego is out of the way. And I'm not just voicing my opinion, no matter how good or bad that might be, because opinions are many. Awareness of the truth is rare. So we do the best that we can to be as clear a channel for Spirit as we possibly can be, because that's what we are. We're just clear channels. And any good thing you speak, any good thing you think, any good thing you do means you're open to Spirit's grace channeling itself through you. The only really thing that belongs to us are our mistakes. And that's not a bad thing, it's just what it is, because that's how it is on the human planet, three-dimensional planet, Earth. We make mistakes. But in keeping that close connection with Source, we make fewer mistakes as we go deeper into that connection and maintain it more fully. And then we find ourselves, when we do make mistakes, they're different ones. They're not the same ones over and over and over again. And when that happens, you know you're growing. You know something is really happening. And your life is truly in that more accelerated forward move. Because life is always in a forward movement, no matter whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. Again, I remind you, as I often do, the movement of life is like the movement, of the spiraling, circling motion. And in a spiral, you come down to go up to the next one. You come down to go up to the next one. You come down to go up to the next one. And your life and my life is like that. And that is why, as I've often said before, sometimes it looks like I take 2 steps forward and 4 steps backward. It's only I'm coming down to come up higher, see. And with each graduation into the higher circle, and they're concentric circles, really. As you know, with this spiral, if you pull it apart, it's all one thing, just one piece of energy. And when it's close together, it just looks like a circle. Put some of them on your arm and wear it as a bracelet. So what you and I are always endeavoring to do, which is why we're frustrated so often. Have you noticed that? We're so often frustrated. Because the knower in us knows, the truth in us knows, this is not who you are. This is not you. Why are you behaving like that? Why are you thinking like that? Why are you feeling like that? It's not you. You've lost yourself. You've separated from yourself with the capital S. You're just out of consciousness at the moment, conscious consciousness, that is. And that's why you and I will never know what true and real peace is, what true and real joy is, what pure contentment is, as long as you and I keep separating ourselves from our great self. Because when we separate ourselves from our great self, we separate ourselves from all life in some way or another. And then that causes arguments, and it causes fights, and it causes everything and anything up to wars and annihilation and so on. Just because I have separated myself from myself, all of that happens. Because it's each individual at a time, one by one by one, drop by drop by drop, clears the bucket of the muddy water that you first looked into until it's so crystal clear you can see to the sediment at the bottom of the bucket. Isn't that amazing? So here you are, here I am, this dynamo, this dynamic energy on this plane, which we signed up to come into, by the way, to bring our gift, put our gift on the table, and then take off for something bigger and better. And yet, look at us all, running around like I don't know what. There isn't even a name for it, because I wouldn't put that on any insect or animal or anybody else. But we're bumping into each other all the time. And we're not gently bumping into each other sometimes. Not at all. Powerfully bumping into each other in the way that we hurt each other. We're constantly taking from each other, berating each other, doing serious harm sometimes through our misrepresentation of each other based on ignorance and all the rest of it, which I don't have to spell out for you. And I'm not saying that in a critical way. I am saying that in an observing way. And I'm not just saying that about them out there. I'm saying this about all of us. All of us, even the best well-intentioned people at times, slip and forget. And as a result, there's some upset as a consequence. And you and I have to get over the fact that we're not perfect. Oh my gosh, is that a big one for some people? For perfectionists especially, to get over the fact that I am not perfect, I'm going to make mistakes, I don't want to, it's not my intention to, at least we're that advanced, but mistakes will be made. So therefore, when they are, let us come together around those mistakes, kindly, gently, and manage somehow or another to meet in mind and heart so that we can resolve not our issue, but my issue, and you resolve your issue. Because the issue is always mine, it's always yours, it's always the individuals in any relationship or in any group relationship or in any country relationship or what global relationship. I have to look at what's mine to look at and to see how I might be putting a block between the coming together of minds and hearts. You look out into the world and this is very clear what's going on. And so something has to be done about it, hasn't it? But nothing can be done about it by means of them, they, and so on. The only thing that can be done about it is you and me changing up something in our own lives. Whether it's changing an attitude, changing a mindset, changing a behavior, and so on. Only each one of us can know what that looks like. So that's why we have to monitor ourselves. We have to monitor our minds first and foremostly, and very particularly because it's the mind. It's the mind that rules the roost in your life and in mine. And it affects everything else. It affects feelings, it affects body, it affects affairs, it affects relationships, and so forth. Now, the mind is a veritable mine of golden truth, ready to be revealed to you and to me if we work with it. But we have to visit it in order for that to happen. And when I say visit it, I mean consciously. We have to consciously get in touch with what we're thinking and what that thinking triggers in our feeling and what that thinking and what that feeling triggers in our way of showing up, our behavior, our mode of moving through our world, our relationships, all affected by what's going on in our mind. And the mind, I think, is the last great unexplored domain. And you and I can go where we haven't gone before. I wonder where I got that from. Deep into the deep mind of the heart, the subconscious mind, that's full of all kinds of amazing, wondrous things. It's like a library, your deep inner mind. You can go in there and discover within yourself all of the history of all of life, since ever it was, and it always was. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine such a library? Well, it is within you. See, you and I couldn't appreciate space and the stars and outer space and inner space and all the rest of it if first that was not within us, not part of us. We only recognize what we see from what we are. So if I, within me, see a lot of cruelty out in the world, and only a lot of cruelty out in the world, I'm wondering, how cruel am I to myself? If I'm extremely neglectful of everything and everyone, don't seem to care much about anything or anyone, I'm wondering, why is it that I'm neglecting myself so sadly and badly? I bring to the world what I am in any given moment. What I am there means what's going on in me, in my mind, in my emotion, and so on. And so, you know, your life and my life could actually be the most exciting thing for you to experience and for me to experience while we're here. The most thrilling, the most awesome, the most exciting thing. Now, at times it might be like riding a roller coaster at Magic Mountain. You know, sometimes we might be shaking and quaking and screaming and giggling and laughing and all the rest of it. But if you know it's all an illusion, like most of these rides and experiences are at parks, at playground parks, as I call them. They're just playgrounds, like Disneyland and Universal Studios and Lego World and God knows what not. You're an amazing creator. You're a fabulous producer of things and experiences in your life. You're doing it all the time, night and day. Through your thinking, through your mental atmosphere, which affects your emotional atmosphere, which affects your physical atmosphere. It's a fascinating thing, this thing called mind, and we're not one with it enough. We're not clear about it enough. We're not studied about it enough, and we're not experienced enough with regard to the mind. Because we don't give it the time, we don't give it the energy. We don't have that interest in it that we have in other things. You and I will sail the 7 seas to see the wonders of the world, and they pale by comparison to the wonder that you are, the wonder within you. How many deep dives are you going to do into that mind? I can remember sitting on the bottom of the ocean in Hawaii at a coral reef and looking through and being so fascinated I was speechless with what was going on. The beauty of it and the amazing shafts of light that come down to the ocean floor. I never realized it was so bright down there. And these beautiful funnels of light that came down, and it was like stage lights to the stage, what these shafts of sunlight was to the coral reef, highlighting everything. One didn't know where to look. Can you imagine that that kind of depth is within you, only more better, as the little ones say? Beyond your wildest dreams, beyond your imagination as yet. Now, wouldn't you want to be in the midst of all of that amazing grace and beauty and awe and wonder? Because that's what it does. It fills you with awe and wonder. Awe and wonder is no problem when you're in these experiences. Or if you go to the rim of, the Grand Canyon, and you behold the Grand Canyon, especially for the first time, I know when I did, it was like electricity running through me. It was so energizing. But all of these things are less than what you could experience within yourself if you did that deep dive, moved up to the rim of that amazing chasm. And why not? Okay, we're maybe not practicing it, and we may think, oh gosh, it's a chore. Oh gosh, this is boring. Nothing ever happens. I just sit down, and then I just get antsy. And then, the time is gone, and I think to myself, oh Lord, it's a waste of time. I should have really just done the laundry. I'd have more to show for it in the day. Nonsense. You have to train, you have to practice. When a child picks up a violin, oh mother of goodness, when they start to learn that, it's not pleasant. It really isn't. To think that this beautiful instrument could produce such dissonance and obnoxious sounds sometimes is amazing to me. And then one day the child picks up the bow, picks up the violin, starts to play, and you recognize something they're playing. It's actually a tune you recognize, and you go, ah, isn't that wonderful? And then it improves, and it improves, and it improves, and it improves, and the child becomes absolutely stunningly, awesomely, amazingly a superb musician. But that child started out annoying everybody with the dissonance and the sounds that were going on as the child first picked up the violin. But that didn't happen by the child just visiting the violin every once in a while and giving it a go again. She would have remained at that level. That happened because day in and day out, and day in and day out, she was present to the violin and practiced even when she didn't want to, even when it was annoying her as well as everybody else. It's the same with everything in life. When you're a beginner, you have to begin at the beginning to learn a skill. And most of us never get past the initial stage because we get fed up with it, we think we're no good at it, it's a waste of time, it's irritating, it's something I have to do. You and I don't have to do a darn thing. Not one darn thing do you and I have to do. We choose to do whatever it is we're doing. And the beauty and the grace is when you move from I have to do this to I get to do this now. Huge difference in every way, but most especially in your energy. In your energy. And you and I want to keep our energy field as dynamic as we possibly can. Because when we do, we have much more energy. And when we have much more energy, we feel more like accomplishing. And getting out there maybe and trying something new. We have more energy to help more, serve more, make a difference more. And that, I'm talking to you, yes, you. Doesn't matter what state you're in at the moment or have been in. That doesn't have to remain. You are at choice. You can stay in the choice of being in that present situation, or digging deep within yourself and knowing it can be replaced. And know that it can be replaced with grace and ease if you allow Spirit to go before you, prepare the way. If you hand it up and give it over and cast the burden upon the Spirit of that Christed conscious energy within you, it's going to happen in so much more a wonderful way. Instead of thinking, I have to do this, the me of me. Little me has to do this great big thing, I don't think. It's tiring me out even thinking about it. No, you don't. Thank goodness. If it was up to us getting all the good in the world done, nothing much would be done. But to those who know that I can call forth that power, that presence, that infinite truth, that knows exactly how to maneuver everything and negotiate everything and navigate everything, and trust that it will do so, then I'm home free. No matter what I'm feeling, what I'm thinking, I can tell myself, it's not your greatest day today, but it's not really up to you to get this done, to accomplish this or whatever. If you just get out of the way now and let the power and the presence of Spirit within you go forward, prepare the way, and guide you along its path to the wonderful conclusion, it gets done. Because I of myself do nothing. It is the power and the presence of the one within me that does the work, said the great Christed Jesus. I of myself do nothing, can do nothing. But if I'm one with the power within me, and I know, all I have to do is to be open and know that I'm a perfect channel for that energy to flow through and accomplish what the divine impulse is to accomplish by means of this channel. It's sweet to even glimmer this. It's sweet, more deeply sweet, to get an inkling of it. And it's beyond sweetness when you get it. It's worth the few minutes to begin with, and the increased minutes as you go along, to pause, to be still, to invite, and to listen. Be still and know I am is God, and the I am dwells within you, thinks through you, feels through you, does through you. That's its choice. And your choice is to go with the flow. That's all. So, my dear ones, we have much to celebrate about ourselves, no matter how hard life is at the moment, no matter how badly we're feeling in this moment now. We have much, 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 much to celebrate. So you're at choice, remember that, and if it's going to be, it is definitely up to me. That's what we always say, the old cliche. If it's going to be, it's up to me. And as I think, so it is. As I expect, so I experience. It is done unto me as I believe. Let's remember this, especially in the difficult moments, in the awkward moments, in the unknowing moments, that I just have to get out of the way, stop, pause, breathe deeply, be quiet, and listen. And I will be guided along my chosen, rightful spiritual path, in safety, in security, with comfort and ease, in health and wellness, in fullness and plenty, in loving relationship with all, and amazing myself by creatively expressing. So take good care, and now is the moment when we celebrate our fullness. Doesn't matter how full, the glass is. We're celebrating the fullness that it is, whether it's this much or flowing over. We get to celebrate the fullness of it, because when we do, we increase our open receptivity to the glass filling rather than the glass depleting itself. It's all attitude. Have you caught that yet? Do you know yet that everything is about attitude? As I think, so it is. As I think, so it is. We say that glibly, but oh my goodness, the weight of those words. So then you have to say to yourself very quickly, what in heaven's name am I thinking? What have I been thinking? And if you need to change that thinking, go for it. So before I bless this and all of us with it, I want to thank you very much for your being part of a spiritual community. You're pulled to be part of a spiritual community. It's the beginning of something big for each and every one of us, because you're responding, you're listening to, you're getting the nudge for the moreness of life and the growth in life to be increased. So I want to thank you for your good thoughts and your good feelings and your good actions, and for all the good you are responsible for in this world, and especially the good you know nothing about. I always love that part, the good you know nothing about. Oh, you're much more than you think you are. You have given much more than you think you do. So with you in mind and blessing you and your whole beautiful life into unfoldment with grace and ease, and with in mind we are sharing from what we have with others who are in need in some way for the time being. But we know for them too, it's only temporary. So take very good care of yourself by taking care of your mind and what's going on with it. I always say, take care of your mind and the rest will take care of itself. Don't take my word for it. Test it out. So we're going to bless now. Divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, to bless, to bring comfort and ease, to uplift, to advance, to make a difference. To all those who give and all those who receive. I am so happy and glad. I rejoice in the sharing of this good. And I release my gift with eagerness and gratitude and thanksgiving. And I'm in awe that I'm this much awake, that I can do this. I am grateful. I relax, I release, and I let go. And that is picked up, moved upon by the law of correspondence, responded to, and my good is multiplied as a result. Isn't that amazing? But not as amazing as you are. So, my dear ones, until we meet again, stay tuned in, stay tuned in. There are many things on offer just now. I know it's still on Zoom, but still, and on Sundays and today, YouTube and so forth. But stay tuned in, because sometimes doing that just gives you a little inkling to go within yourself more and trust yourself more and be yourself more. And the Monday afternoon is not just chat. It is a time when we come together, we check in with each other, then we study something, we share from what we studied, and then we go into prayer. It's a beautiful time we spend together. We who do it love it and appreciate it. And the class is the same, all classes, the book study is the same on a Wednesday morning, and so on. Whatever you do, whatever it takes, and whatever it is that keeps you awake and alert to listening to the impulse within you to rise up higher and be more of your beautiful and great good self. And remember, you are loved, you are cherished, and very much prayed up. So enjoy the rest of this blessed day. Remember again, you're at choice. You can think it into whatever you want it to be, and then you'll feel it into whatever you want it to be. And at the end of the day, you'll say, gee, that was a good day. Isn't that wonderful? And tomorrow is even going to be better. So I'm going to leave you now the way the children would say goodbye. Mwah, mwah, mwah. And so it is.